Would you do anything for your friends? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I bring you trade paperbacks and single issues, and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Now, this video actually takes place during Battle World, but it spawned a comic in the new Marvel Prime, following up on this story. So here's the original Battle World story in a self-contained fun tale. And if you enjoyed this, go pick up the new A-Force #1, Arcadia. A day like any other. A day where all of our heroines are out watching and protecting Arcadia's people. She-Hulk is Arcadia's Baroness and the leader of A-Force, a superhero team that watches over the city. While out on patrol, Captain Marvel along with Nico, American Chavez, and Dazzler are attacked by a giant megalodon leaping from the waters below. Captain Marvel gives the shark a hard punch, but it managed to grab Miss America by her coat and bring her back down with it. Nico quickly dives in to give chase to the giant shark, and she blasts it with a powerful beam, freeing America, and then Dazzler helping with a second attack and knocks the giant shark onto land. After our heroes make sure that all of the civilians are safe, Miss America decides that it's time to get rid of the shark. And with a mighty throw, she tosses it over the wall and down into the Deadlands. However, their victory is short-lived because before any of them can talk, a giant flash of light comes crashing down and Sam Wilson of the Thors steps forward. America Chavez, you have violated Battleworld's law and breached the shield, endangering people, and you have forsaken the sanctity of Doom's borders. Back at the Hall of Justice, the HQ-4 A-Force, She-Hulk is talking to a giant hologram of Doctor Strange. She had broken the law. The borders are never to be crossed. She-Hulk tries to defend Miss America, but Doctor Strange tells her that she must do what she has to as a Baroness. She is honor-bound, and it is Doom's will before She-Hulk walks out. Our heroes all gather around Miss America, knowing that she broke the law, trying to protect everyone when She-Hulk comes out. As She-Hulk begins to say how sorry she is, Loki comes forward hugging America. And America tells Loki and Nico not to worry. This isn't anyone's fault. Before anyone else is able to talk, a bright flash comes cracking down, and there stands many more of the Thors. Knowing what needs to be done, She-Hulk walks America to them. America Chavez, by violation of the first law, you are sentenced to spend the rest of your days in the prison of the Shield. And just as fast as the Thors appeared, they vanish with America, and everyone falls silent. She-Hulk tries to explain, but Nico storms off with Loki. As the night falls, She-Hulk goes to the aid of the Submariners because what attacked them earlier was not of this world. Namor, Namorita, and Namora begin traveling deep into the ocean when they come across a bright light. However, Nico is not with the A-Force, waiting to see what the Submariners find about the Megalodon. She is off alone, crying at the loss of America. Looking up, she sees a bright blue flash come crashing down into the ground. Hoping it to be America somehow returning, Nico runs over to find a strange female figure whose body looks like it's covered in stars. Meanwhile, the Submariners are getting closer to their own light, and they discover it to be a portal. But that's when Namor notices the portal is beginning to close, and quickly the three of them start their escape back up to avoid the portal's explosion. They didn't get away fast enough, and they are all shaken by the shock, but in the end, She-Hulk is no closer to finding out answers as to where this giant shark came from. The next day, Nico brings the female figure home, telling her all about America and how she was exiled while she braids the girl's hair, and the nameless girl plays with a cat. Loki calls to Nico, and then she enters her room with breakfast, and she's shocked to see the new person there. Nico tries to explain that she just found her and decided to take her home, and Loki tells her that she has to tell She-Hulk about her. As Nico begins to try and explain to She-Hulk what happened, another portal opens up above them and a giant sentinel comes crashing down. Quickly, the A-Force assemble to try and take down the giant robot, and that's when the nameless girl figure teleports all of the citizens away to safety. As the battle continues, Medusa wraps the sentinel's head up and She-Hulk throws a giant spike that she broke off of one of the buildings right through the sentinel's chest. Then Captain Marvel flies in to clean things up by punching off its head. After defeating the sentinel, Medusa begins to question if this girl figure is the cause of these portals, but She-Hulk tells her that she can't be, and they will figure it all out. Looking back up to see that the portal is still open, She-Hulk enters it, and she looks around at a destroyed city, and she also sees more of the sentinels. She quickly begins to defend herself, but she's dropped by a bolt of lightning. It's the Thors. They tell her to stop, that she's broken the law. She crossed the border. She tries to tell them that there is someone creating these portals, but the Thors are not listening. So she quickly jumps back into the portal to return home. She-Hulk notices something on her way back. She notices that this magic is coming from Arcadia, and realizing that it's coming from Arcadia, the traitor must be among them. But before she can go any further with her conclusions, the Thors chase She-Hulk through the portal. She tries to tell them again that there is something greater going on here, but they still won't listen. So Medusa steps up, grabbing She-Hulk with her hair, and then she slams her down face first. The Thors turn to her, telling her that she shall be rewarded for stopping She-Hulk. Medusa then brings She-Hulk to her and tells her that she needs to do her duty. But then she lets go of everything and grabs all of the Thors, throwing them back into the portal with her hair. Medusa then turns back to She-Hulk, telling her that they need to protect Arcadia. But before the Thors are fully through, the Thors give back one final attack, and a bolt of lightning comes crashing down on Medusa for her actions. Medusa falls to the ground, and She-Hulk tells everyone it's time time to go into hiding. They will find out who the traitor is, but they will have to defy doom to do it. She takes the lifeless body of Medusa back to the A-Force headquarters, and she tells Dazzler to sound the alarms. Arcadia is not safe. The Thors then come back looking for She-Hulk and the A-Force for defying Doom's law. But our nameless girl has an idea, and she tells everyone to hide inside of her, the same way that she saved the civilians. The girl escapes outside of the city walls to let the A-Force out safely, and it is here that She-Hulk reveals the portal that she saw. It was a rainbow bridge created with Asgardian power. Back at the A-Force headquarters, we see someone take the throne of the Baroness, and it is in fact Loki. Loki begins to tell the Thors that She-Hulk was misguided, and that's when she notices that the night sky does not have any stars, and the nameless girl's face appears to tell Loki, hello. She-Hulk and the rest of the A-Force come crashing through the roof, and they begin taking down Loki and the Thors. But as the A-Force begins winning the fight, Loki summons a giant golem. Just as is about to grab She-Hulk and swallow her, She-Hulk bursts through its stomach, getting free. Then Loki begins to gather power, so Nico steps up to stop her. Loki begins to tell Nico that when she becomes Baroness, Nico won't have to worry about anything. She will be the princess of Arcadia. But Nico sees right through Loki's words and kicks Loki to the ground. Nico then tells Loki that she has lost America, lost Arcadia, and most importantly, she lost her. However, if Loki can't have it all, then no one can! Loki gathers the last of her strength to let out a piercing shriek with so much force that it blasts a hole through the shield, protecting them from the Deadlands. With Dazzler, Captain Marvel, and Nico, She-Hulk calls for the A-Force to assemble for one last time for a final battle. She-Hulk rallies all of the remaining heroes of Arcadia to join the battle. Everyone begins fighting back the hordes of zombie superheroes, but they are slowly losing ground, and that's when our nameless girl comes flying and saving Nico from a bite from the giant shark that was here before. While flying back to their friends, our nameless girl tells Nico her name finally. Her name is Singularity. After dropping Nico back off of She-Hulk and Captain Marvel, Singularity begins flying back towards the giant horde of zombies. Then as she flies through them, Singularity begins picking up all of the zombies and pulling them towards the sky. And with one final goodbye, she creates a giant explosion, killing all of the remaining zombies. Everyone celebrates the victory, but the remaining A-Force team members cry at the sacrifice of their newfound friend. Singularity was lost. Medusa was lost. America was lost. The next day, She-Hulk gives the Thors Loki to take to prison for breaking the first law. And even though She-Hulk broke some of the laws as well, the Thors tell her that the losses from the final battle are her punishment. That was the price of her freedom. As the next few days pass, everyone on Arcadia is helping rebuild the parts of the destroyed city, but She-Hulk walks over to find Nico still in her room crying over the loss of Singularity. She-Hulk tells Nico that Singularity did what she did after seeing the sacrifice that Medusa made, fooling the Thors and freeing everyone. But together, everyone will help build a better world, a true paradise. Now, if you don't know what happened during the Battle World or the Secret Wars, basically the entire world was destroyed and then remade in Doom's image. This made for a lot of interesting side stories, and the best ones have been carried over into the all-new, all-different Marvel. So the people in this book are now in the all-new, all-different Marvel as A-Force if you want to continue their story and see what happens with Singularity, Medusa, and even America, because they're not as gone as the story makes them out to be. Or if you want to know what happened in the Secret Wars, make sure you check out our Secret Wars video. I will link the first one down below. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time right here, but don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian and Instagram at Comicstorian. Have a good one.